Hi, welcome to showmethecurry.com. I'm Anuja, and today I'm going to show you how to make some momos. Now, momos are a distant relative of dumplings or pot stickers, and momos are made more in again in Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, and northeast regions of India. So again, everybody's recipe varies a little bit, and really there's little differences in all the different regions. So this is my version, and let's get started. So I'm going to be showing you how to make vegetarian and non-vegetarian momos. So vegetarian being with vegetables and the non-vegetarian being with chicken. Now you can substitute the meat to whatever you like, and so whatever the dough I'm making is going to make half vegetarian and half non-vegetarian. So now the momo, the skin of the momo batters or the mount stays the same. The fillings, you can double up the vegetarian or double up the chicken, so that way it will be perfect for this amount. So we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour over here. So that we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Mix it, and we're going to add water little at a time. It's going to need approximately 1 cup of water, but again, everybody's, it depends on the crop and the kind of consistency of the all-purpose flour. So just put a little at a time, and you'll see it all binding together and coming together. So now you can do this part even in a food processor. So once everything comes together, and it needs to be a little tough. So it's not like your chapati flour, it's a little tougher. So bottom line is I needed 1 cup plus maybe less than a tablespoon more. So it really depends on, again, your measurements, and a little bit varies here and there. So I'm going to get rid of this now, the bowl. So I'm going to work on it on the counter. It's just easier. You have to work the all-purpose flour a little bit because get the glutens going. So I'm going to knead this for another 10 minutes. Boy, that was a good workout. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Cover it with the towel, and then meanwhile we'll get the fillings started. So we'll start off with some chicken filling. So over here I have 250 grams of chicken, which is approximately half a pound of chicken minced. So to that I'm going to add in 4 onions, the smaller onions that I have chopped fine, and it's approximately 300 grams of onions. So we're going to mix it all in. It may seem like a lot of onions, but that's where chicken tends to be a little dry, and the juice comes and the flavor comes from the onions. So don't get shocked. And I'm going to add in some carrots just for color. So I'm going to add like 1 carrot which I have grated, and I have squeezed out all the juice from it, or the liquid. So I just kind of squeezed it. To this we're going to add 1 tablespoon of ginger minced, 1 tablespoon of garlic minced. Going to put in some cilantro, just a couple of sprigs. Now one of the things that goes in is dalda or refined ghee. So we're going to use 1/3 cup melted, but you can use butter, you can use margarine. Actually margarine would be perfect. And some spices. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of red chili powder. Now this is just to give color. Now if you don't want it spicy, just either eliminate it or just put Kashmiri mirch. And I'm going to just mix it all in. This is all mixed in, and looks good. So now for the vegetarian filling, we're going to be using cabbage. So this is approximately a little less than half of it. This is just to give you an idea what the size of the cabbage is. Actually it's a little less than half, so half would be about here. And what we have done is we put it in the food processor and let it go, and then just sprinkled a little bit of salt on it and let it sit. So what that does is it gets all the liquid or the moisture out from the cabbage, and then we just squeeze the daylights out of it, or squeeze all the moisture out of it. And here it is. And to this we're going to add 1 carrot. That's exactly what you've done to the carrot as well. We've squeezed out all the moisture. Now if you do not take, if you're not careful in removing all the moisture from the filling, what's going to happen is the momos are going to be soggy, and then the skin is going to get wet, and it's just going to tear up while you're cooking it. So now this is onions, again, same as before, same amount. This is just to give you an approximate idea of what the size of the onions I'm talking about. We use about 4 of these. So I would say probably, 1.5 large onions in the US. And I'm going to add the onions also here. I'm going to add in cilantro, about 3, 4, 5 sprigs. 1 tablespoon of ginger minced, red chili powder to taste, garam masala, 1 teaspoon, salt, 1 teaspoon. Now if you're making this filling ahead of time, I would suggest you add in the salt just before you actually start making the momos, because again what's going to happen is the onions are going to let the water go. So again, for the onions, if you're doing it in the food processor, make sure you squeeze out all the liquid, all the moisture, the carrots, the cabbage, everything. Squeeze out the moisture from it and only then put it in, because otherwise you're going to have a sloppy mess and it's not going to be any fun. So here I have 3 tablespoons of dalda, same as the chicken filling. You can also use margarine, or you can use melted butter. All of them work fine. Mix it well. And we're going to keep it aside. Okay, so let me introduce you to a momo steamer. Actually, it's just a steamer, so any steamer with a tight lid will work. For the longest time, honestly, I would just take my regular steamer, the one with the vegetable that just opens up, put that in and just work with that. So it's been half an hour, and we're going to get back to the dough. Here you go. And it's softened up a lot more than it was. So put it back on the board and knead it for another 5 minutes. And initially when you start making them, they're a little bigger, they're a little thicker, so you'll probably make a little less. So I'm just going to take out a little piece. So here's like a large marble size ball, and we're going to be using all-purpose flour for dusting. So I've just got a little plate over here. Take your ball, dip it in the flour, and then start rolling. Now the thinner you make it, the better it will be. And of course, try and keep it as round as possible. Now this is best when you have a few people in the house helping you, because otherwise it can be pretty boring. If you have to make it alone, roll out the skins first, then do the fillings at one time. So once you finish rolling, we'll put it over here and we'll cover it. That way it doesn't get dried out by the time we start filling it. And I'm going to dust it one more time, get all the excess out. If you're good at making chapatis, this will be pretty good for you, pretty easy. So this is about perfect, so about 2.5, 3 inches, because anything bigger is going to be harder to fold. So I'm going to keep this here, and I'm going to carry on and do the rest. The momo skins have been rolled out. So here's the steamer. First thing you're going to do is take a little bit of oil and a brush and just coat the bottom of the steamer so that the momos don't stick. Now a lot of people also put either cabbage leaves or lettuce leaves, or just put like a little piece of carrot under the momo so that it doesn't stick and it just comes out like that. I also have the bottom of the momo pan, filled it up with water, not the whole thing, probably just a quarter. It needs to be a rolling boil before I put the momos on it. So now for the most intricate part and the most crucial part of this, and actually the most beautiful part of momos, is the filling. So here is the skins. I'm just going to take the fillings. Here you go. You take it like that in your palm, and you put it in the center. And here's the intricate part. You're going to go with your one hand. You're going to fold it across, but kind of just get that in the first part. Fold it in, pinch. 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 Fold it in, oops, the other way around. Pinch. Here you go. Here you go. Of course, with lots more practice, you'll get a lot better. So I have made the momos. You have a look. Now a couple of tips I definitely want to give, especially for beginners, is when you make the momos, make sure you pinch the sides and make sure they seals shut very well, because otherwise they tend to open up, in the middle. And the other thing I did was, the moment I made them, make sure you cover them so that they don't dry up and they don't form a crusty skin. So meanwhile, I have a pan over here, and I'm going to get that going, and I've got a little bit of water in here. So it's on high. I'm going to cover it and let it come to a boil. So as far as steaming times are concerned, for the vegetarian ones, for the vegetables and all, they don't need as much time. So probably about between 10 to 12 minutes. But for the chicken ones, since it is raw chicken and it's raw meat, you're going to cook it for at least between 12 to 15 minutes. I hear it boiling, and I'm going to put the momos on top. Now, when you're making a few, this is perfect. But if you're making lots, please make sure you keep enough space between them so that they don't stick to each other when they cook. So here you go, this is on, and I'm going to put my timer on for 12 minutes because I have vegetarian and non-vegetarian ones in there, and then I'll have a look at them. So it's been 12 minutes. We're going to turn this off. Of course, if you have to do more, so don't stop, carry on. And I'm going to transfer it here, and I'm going to show you what we're looking for. It's hard to show on the stove when it's still hot. Now this is what it looks like, and the key is that if you touch the skin of the momo, it shouldn't be sticky. It should be, it shouldn't be very sticky. It should be okay. You should be able to lift it. So this looks done. I'm going to pull them out and put them on a platter. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Of course I can use tongs. I should be using tongs, but who wants to wait? Now that's one of the biggest differences between momos and pot stickers or dumplings from China or any of the other regions, eastern regions. They use a more glutinous all-purpose flour. Here we just use the regular one, and that's exactly what momos are. So this is how it is, and they look absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give it a shot. Of course, we made chutney. There's a video out there for it, so look it up. Love the flavor. It's just so right on. The cabbage, I had a vegetarian one. I picked up the first one. You can taste the onions and the cabbage and all still have the crunch, and there's flavor in there. It's just so amazing. And the skin of the momo, right on. I think it's very important to make sure you roll it out thin enough where it doesn't break, but yet it's not just all about the skin. There's enough substance in there, and you can taste the whole thing. The whole bite is just amazing. Okay, this is a non-vegetarian one. Look at it. Amazing. That's one of the reasons why we use so much onion, is so that the chicken is juicy. It's not dry. This is really, really good. It's going to be a feast. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more from us, please don't forget to subscribe. So enjoy your momos, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, and join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com, adding a pinch of spice to your life.